Alright, on this video we're going to look at 4, 5, and 6. So for number 4, we're doing a dimensional analysis. We are starting with 80 fluid ounces. So you always write down what you know, and if it's not a fraction, go ahead and put it over 1. So remember, we are allowed to multiply by anything that is equivalent to 1. So I know, for example, that 8 fluid ounces is equivalent to 1 cup. So that makes that whole fraction equivalent to 1. I put the fluid ounces on the bottom so that I can cancel them. And then I can repeat the process. This time I want to get rid of cups. And I know that 2 cups is 1 pint. So then my cups cancel. And then finally for my last one, 2 pints is equivalent to 1 quart. All right, so then my pints cancel. All right, so now I am in the correct unit. So I've got an 80 in the numerator, an 8 times 2 times 2 in the denominator, and my only unit left is quarts. So if I think about reducing, 8 goes into 80 10 times, and then 2 goes into 10 5 times. So I end up with 5 over 2, which would be 2.5 quarts. All right, number 5, we've got some vocabulary. This comes from various parts of the semester. So the first 2 come from our basic geometry. 2 angles whose sum is 180 degrees. These are called supplementary. Remember, if they add up to be 90, they are complementary. Lines that intersect at right angles, these are perpendicular. Now, if they don't intersect and they're on the same plane, we say that they are parallel. Next, we have a triangle with no congruent sides. This is a scalene. So if all 3 sides are congruent, it's equilateral. If 2 or more sides are congruent, it is isosceles. All right, our next one deals with quadrilaterals. So a quadrilateral that has 2 pairs of parallel sides, you have a little hint there with the word parallel. This will be a parallelogram. And then a quadrilateral with no parallel sides but 2 pairs of congruent sides. So if they're not parallel, the only way to make them congruent is to put them next to each other. So you're going to have something like this with these 2 congruent and these 2 congruent. So this would be a kite. So it's a good idea to be familiar with all of your basic vocabulary, triangles, quadrilaterals. Look through those before the final exam. All right, we're going to do number 6 on the next page. Here we have 3 intersecting lines. So we can see we get kind of a triangle in the middle, and we are given that angle B is 50 and that angle X is 160. So it looks like the easiest one to find will be Y. If I take this angle at Y and this angle at B, I can see that they make 180 degrees. So to get Y, I'll do 180 minus 50, and that will be 130. Now in order to get A, I need to know another angle in that set of intersecting lines. So for example, if I could find this angle, then I could figure out what A is. So I'm going to go over here and look at the 160. If I take these 2 angles together, they add up to 180. So 180 minus 160 gives me 20. So I know that this angle is 20. And now we want to look at my triangles. So here's my triangle. I want to stay inside the triangle. I know a triangle has 180 degrees. So if I add up 130 and 20, that gives me 150. I subtract that from 180, and I get that this little angle is 30. So right there where I had the question mark, oops, I took out all my green. All right, that's going to be 30 degrees. Now in order to get A, now I'm looking at these 2 angles. So to get A, those have to add up to be 180. So 180 minus 30 would be 150.